Hello, my name is Victoria Ely, and this is my Unit 13 portfolio. This is my artistic statement. Animation and music are things that I find great enjoyment in. I have to say that my favorite animations come from Pixar, Disney, and DreamWorks. If I ever wanted to pursue some type of art career in animation, I'd choose one of those to work for. I find especially fascinating the storytelling animations do, because an interesting story premise can keep a bad animated movie afloat, unlike the opposite. While I do have an appreciation for 3D animation, I'm more drawn to 2D animation. I feel any studio can make a 3D movie using models from a computer, but it takes actual skill and talent from your mind to a paper to draw a hand-drawn animation painstakingly frame by frame. Another great love of mine is music, which I love to listen to on a daily basis. While I'm not good at making music myself, I find that it helps me to be in the right creative mood. Whether it's sad, romantic, hopeful, or happy, music can tell stories and evoke feelings more than words can express alone. These are some of my skills and goals. I like to think of myself as hardworking, determined, creative, patient, and a fast learner. Some of the freelance opportunities that I thought of are a freelance voiceover artist, a freelance sketch artist, and a freelance design artist. Some of the animation studios I like to work for, like I mentioned earlier, were Pixar, Disney, and DreamWorks. Here are some of the sketches that I did in my sketchbook. I was kind of testing to different face shapes for the cats that I wanted to do for the characters. I was kind of unsure of what I wanted to go with, but then eventually I kind of came up with the idea of the next slide of my character, Foxtrot. So this one here is a figure drawing of him. I did it from all sides to kind of see what he would look like from different angles, and I feel like that's important when you're doing storyboarding because you have to kind of figure out if they have different patterns on like on different parts of their face or on their body. You have to make sure that you get them right on all angles so it doesn't look weird in animation. Here are some of my motion drawings that I've done. The first motion drawing that I call Panic and Fire. It's this cat that's thinking of an incident of seeing fire and it really traumatized them, so I made their eyes kind of do the swirly effect to make them seem like they're kind of going a little crazy and panicking. Here is my second motion drawing of a strutting man. It's a stick figure guy. He's kind of walking with a strut. And then here is my GIF slide. This GIF that I found is 3 pink red birds that seem to be doing different walk cycles. The first one on the left is running like it's hurrying to get somewhere. The second one is skipping about in delight, and the last one seems to be walking very calmly. I feel like this GIF communicates the different levels of feeling when walking, skipping, and running, and yeah. So I don't know the creator's name, but I did find the GIF on the app Tenor. The GIFs that are moving, it does convey a variety of emotions alone, and people using GIFs all the time have become popular in text messaging others. So I feel like GIFs are kind of the wave of the future because lots of people use them all the time to express their emotion. Next up is my storyboard. The first page is of my character Foxtrot. He's running through the edge of the woods. He gets to the edge of the city. He crosses a road, and by the time he crosses the road, he hears something in the dark. So he runs into this dark alley. He hides into this cardboard box next to a trash can, and he's really nervous, as you can see. There's a gunshot that goes off, and it causes all the birds that were on the fence to fly away. And then slowly Foxtrot, he starts to hear of someone in pain. Then the scene changes over to Darling, where she is not doing well. She's holding meat that she had stolen from a butcher, and the butcher had barely grazed her in the ear, but she's in lots of pain. So she drops her food, and this is what causes the rats and mice to swarm over to her food to try and steal it from her. But Darling, she doesn't want to go off without a fight. But as you can see, the rats and the mice, they manage to eat all her food, and by the time everything's gone, she's so weak that she faints to the ground. So, Foxtrot, he's so worried that he runs over to her to check if she's alright, but Darling tries to swipe at him, thinking that he wants to hurt her. Foxtrot, in her last moments before she blacks out again, tells her that he just wants to help. Darling, with no choice in the matter, feels that she has to just trust him in that moment, because she's not going to be able to stay conscious for long. And by the time she faints, Foxtrot checks her breathing, and he promises her that he'll do everything in his power that she'll be okay. So the next part of this is an animation sequence. This is a part that I was kind of hoping that would be later featured as the series goes on, if it ever becomes its own cartoon or something like that, or its own show.
Thrush Patch.
This is my pitch Bible. Logline: where was Foxtrot? What home did he leave behind? Who is Darling? What is Darling's backstory? How did Darling get hurt? Is it possible for a cat raised from the clans and a cat raised as a rogue to work together? Can they put aside their differences and form a bond? A series about two cats who both are at a crossroad in their life where they are unsure of who they want to be and where they belong. Over their adventures, they'll realize that when they have each other, they don't feel so alone. I'd say that my target audience would be for older children who can handle dark themes. It would contain some adult jokes that are hidden enough that a young viewer wouldn't recognize unless they read between the lines. Character description: Foxtrot is a calico tom. He's a Japanese bobtail ragamuffin mix. He has a short stubby tail and a set of golden eyes. The inside of his left ear is a lighter pink, while his right ear is a darker pink. His nose has half of each pink color similar to his ears. His paws have spots of pink fading into one another. As he gets older, Foxtrot's chin fur gets longer and scruffier, similar to like a small beard. Darling is a short but stocky she-cat. She has a rather strange pelt, a mirror-like color with a bullet wound on her right ear. She has piercing dark blue eyes and a long tail with unkept ends. Though it's covered by her thick fur, she has a long scar stretching across her breastplate and her shoulders. She covers the scar with her iconic red hood that she holds dearly to her heart, like for sentimental reasons. Her other thing she cannot live without is her jughead mask and satchel-like bag. Next slide is artwork of the characters. These are reference sheets with their color palette and everything and their accessories that each character wears. And that brings the end to the presentation. Thank you for listening.